Welcome back, QRLS fans. WX Fan 21 here with you, your QRLS caster of the season. Last season, very happy to be hanging out with all of you here for the start of season 11. We are starting off things extremely hot with the Hammerheads and the Bleacher boys, two powerhouses, well-known, well-respected teams in the QRLS. Now go head-to-head with their brand new looking rosters. Alongside of me tonight on co-coms, co-casting, co-cookies for all we care, Drac Pack is here. Drac, now that we are back, and they completely missed the best intro of all time that's never been heard, how are you, Drac?
Doing good, got a good rehearsal in, got a good warm up the vocals a little bit. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Hammerheads, with their new edition Crimson, and I'm also excited to see the Bleacher Boys because I felt like I talked Kiptero into picking up Sirupper. So let's see what happens. Let's see if I was right. Let's see if Kiptero is going to be mad at me because Sirupper ends up not performing well, but I think he's going to do just fine. And we're gonna keep this relatively brief just so that we can get back into the action. But predictions, what do you think? What do you think's gonna happen, fan?
I think it's going to be really interesting to get things started. So we're going to allow the teams to get in the server. They've been hanging out with us. They've been very patient. We appreciate both of these teams. Let's quickly go over the rosters, just like Drac was talking about here. You've got Joe Papa, the captain, Crimson, the rookie, and you have Norm as your main three. Itzos will be your fourth, and player there, the sub. You have Kiptero, captain for the new-looking Bleacher Boys, along with X-Docs and Sirupper, as Drac already mentioned, with Angel as your sub. So we're going to see who's going to be hanging out with us here in the server. All teams have connected in. So, with that being said, it is going to be the trio of Joe Papa, Norman Crimson versus Kiptero, Sirupper, and X-Doc. No subs to start things off. Really no surprising here. Both of these teams I expect to really be feeling each other out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Hammerheads is gonna be playing with a little bit of a new play style, maybe with the addition of Crimson. I don't think it was a bad choice to pick him up, but they did win. They did win the QRLS preseason, and then proceeded to make a trade. So let's see if it pays off, or maybe they have a little bit of buyer's remorse. But we're getting into the action now. The players have loaded into the lobby, and we are about to kick off Season 11. Fan, take it away.
And here we go. Who's getting the ball for the Season 11? It's going to be Norm to get the tap on the ball and make sure to get things started. It is Norm Crimson and Joe Papa versus Kiptero, Doc, and Sirupper. Big shout out to Doc as well. This is going to be very interesting. Again, for me, main story is going to be not only how Kiptero is just phenomenal, but can Kiptero, who realistically was a free agent last season, sat on the sidelines, wasn't really a big factor in Season 10, now leading his own squad and a very respected squad in the Bleacher Boys, going up against the preseason winners of Hammerheads, and ball now into the side of the Bleacher Boys. I expect to see this early and often here in this game. I really don't expect the Bleacher Boys to put up a lot of offense initially. I expect Hammerheads to be hitting fast and strong. And for all you football fans, I don't know if I'd consider this the Super Bowl from last night, but yeah, I would go with the Hammerheads as the Seahawks and the new look Bleacher Boys as the Patriots. Just a lot of things to still being in a rebuild. And they upset the Hammerheads here. I was trying to make a Super Bowl reference the more I thought about it, and then just, never mind. Would have taken a little bit too much explaining here, but Kiptero, nice shot on goal. Joe Papa with an easy save, though.
Yeah, I think the player to watch here will be Kiptero. Kiptero's really going to control how much the Bleacher Boys perform here. He is by far the best player in the lobby, but that comes with some downsides. With the cap the way it is, if you're the best player, kind of choices of supporting cast isn't necessarily as fruitful. It was something he was struggling with at the beginning of the preseason, trying to find a good, solid fourth man. He was rocking with only 3 players for a while, so trying to find a solid fourth just was a big struggle for him. And with Surupper coming in and performing a little bit now, we're yet to see if that is going to play fruit and if he's going to be able to push into the playoffs, or if this top-heavy approach just ends up not working out.
That is correct. Well, we're going to see how that goes, because again, Kiptero, we know how good he is, but you know what? He's going to have to control the pace of this game. And one thing about it, and again, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm happy we got to the Super Bowl during the rebuild. Because let's face it, this team is rebuilding. But it's going to be Doc coming in to score the first goal here of QRLS. Nice shot as well.
And tight angle, good 50 in the corner by Surupper, kind of keeping the ball in a dangerous area. You know, a lot of times, like, especially kind of your lower ranked lobbies, and Surupper with a good save. In those lower ranked lobbies, though, that's a center from there 100 times out of 100, but just having a shot at it there.
Crimson, that would have been a filthy goal if you were able to pull that off. Just the way he had that ball control. Wasn't able to tap it with the front of the card, just full bodied that ball. Would have shot him on goal with no problem. Good attempt there by Crimson, but less than 2 minutes to go here in game number 1 of this 3-game set for those new to the QRLS. In the regular season, there is a 10-week regular season. Then we get to the playoffs. The regular season are 3-game sets. They are not best of 3s. They are 3-game sets, and Crimson ties us up at 1 apiece with a nice shot on goal and a nice pass from Noam.
Textbook. This is the pass you see in all of your solo queue ranked lobbies. You just bounce it off the wall by the front post. Your upper misreads it just a little bit, and the ball bounces onto Broadway for Crimson. 99 times out of 100, that's an easy goal.
Yeah, very nicely done. Good setup again by Kiptero. Nice clear and save. Sends the ball back out to midcourt. Now joined by his teammate here as well. Kiptero with an empty goal!
Now, I don't think Hammerheads thought Kiptero was going to get to this, and that is what being the best player in the lobby can do. Joe Papa going up, he is way out of his league compared to Kiptero. We've seen Joe Papa go for balls like early and often in the QRLS preseason, but going up against Kiptero one-on-one there is always going to be a recipe for disaster.
Can we also just talk about how beautiful that pass from Surupper was? It was oh.
Yeah, that was just...
Oh. Crimson, I want to say that Alex, our amazing producer, backup producer here for this game, would be very proud of that ball movement. That literally looked like I was watching an Alex ball control. Now this here is going to be a little bit over-read there by the side of the Bleacher boys. I believe that was Crimson trying to go up to the save, but regardless, one of them just unable to get the boost to get the air control. And Kiptero once again showing why this dude is my favorite in the QRLS player.
Kiptero in game 1 proving to be a problem that the Hammerheads have not been able to solve yet. It's going to be interesting to see how they tackle him moving forward in games 2 and 3, but I mean, just having a little bit more control over him and being able to control the pace of play, keep the ball out of the Batmobile, and things go a little bit better. As Norm tries to go for it, but Surupper's going to clear it away. Crimson with the follow-up, and that's going to bounce in. 4 seconds left, 1-goal game. Hammerheads not out of game 1.
So they're going to have an opportunity. That goal really could come in handy. And now this is it. Can they manage to pull it off? And they will not. The Bleacher boys Wow, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and however you identify, absolutely insane. Way to get that, I don't even know what to call it. Upset, I guess? Just filthy. Really nicely done. And I want to give a shout out to Doc because he was the one that started the first goal for the Bleacher Boys. And you don't see it on the scoreboard, but he was having a lot of impact in just small areas all over the map track that I think really helped Kiptero and Sarupper to just really get in their own zone. Doc was taking care of business on the back end, and that allowed Kiptero and Sarupper to really put the pressure on the Hammerheads, and they will win game 1 here in season 11.
Yeah, just 50-50s going your way. And sometimes it's just the difference. Not a huge margin, all things considered. I will say Bleacher Boys, the score doesn't really reflect. I feel like Bleacher Boys was controlling that game a lot better than the Hammerheads were. And, it's Kitero hitting the flashy plays, but it's Sarupper and Doc just being solid on those 50-50s. They're going to count on the Hammerheads are going to count on those players, Sarupper and Doc, being the weak links, and if they can hold their own, that's gonna be a problem, and Hammerheads will have to reconcile with that going into game 2.
That is true. Now, we are unfortunately having a little bit of a server issue. And it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, I know there was a lot of high ping coming for some players. We've had some latency issues. So we're going to remake stuff. Don't you worry. We're going to be right back into things here, folks. Make no mistake about that. Drac, while we wait for a new server, what do you think the key to success here is going to need to be for the Hammerheads to make this 1-1?
So Hammerheads, more touches, more control, direct the ball to fellow Hammerheads. Don't kind of get caught out with a little bit of boom ball. Kiptero is good enough to kind of control the game and make those multi-touch plays, but Kiptero is one person. When you're looking at Hammerheads, Joe Papa's able to make some plays, but also Crimson and Norm as a duo can be stronger if they play off of each other well. Because I don't think one of the things that I'm not so certain that Doc and Sarupper can play against is good team play. We haven't necessarily seen them up against good passing plays, but at the same time, Hammerheads hasn't been doing that, and Hammerheads have been able to do what they've needed to do in order to win. So for Hammerheads, it's utilizing the team a little bit more, and for Bleacher Boys, it's gotta still be Doc and Sarupper just playing a solid mistake-free game and kind of letting Kiptero exploit the weaknesses in Hammerheads.
Very well said. Let's see if they can manage to pull that off. We are here, connecting right now. I am in the new server. Drac is on his way into the new server. The teams are ready. We're hanging out and are ready to go for game number 2 of this 3-game set. And here they are. The Hammerheads have connected. The Bleacher Boys are in. Drac, game 2. QRLS season 11, take it away.
Alrighty, kickoff goes the way of the Hammerheads, and they're going to try to exploit early, but unable to do so. Ball's going to go back over to the Hammerheads half. Norm will be taking it and kind of controlling it. A couple of touches, can't get past Kiptero, but got by 2. The ball's still in the dangerous area. Sarupper trying to deal with it. A little bit of a double commit off of Doc. Kiptero's up high on the wall to clear it away. Will be able to get to the corner, out of danger for now, but Crimson's looking to put it back center. Sarupper will handle it, but not by a lot. Joe Papa's going to put it back, and a little bit of boom ball now as A clear goes directly to Norm, who keeps it in. Kiptero will clear it and take it to Hammerhead's corner, but Norm will take it back. Back and forth action to begin game 2.
That is absolutely what you want to see, that teamwork on the side of the Hammerheads that you mentioned. Here it is. 2-1, 1 on Kiptero to start. Not going to happen. Ball passed over. Norm was out of boost. That would have been a nice goal if he had any boost there to get it. Joe Papa just misses. Norm there to clear. Ball at midfield. Now, tapped down by Crimson, back in the Bleacher Boy zone. Little offense started here for the Hammerheads, and Joe Papa comes in, smacks it down, and just cleared out by Surfer. That wouldn't have gone anywhere. Sidewall, and Surfer gets the demo. Or gets demo, rather. My apologies. Now we're back to a full 3-on-3, 3 minutes, 25 seconds left to go here in game number 2. Setting things on up. Crimson out to the left side wall here. The Bleacher Boys. Joe Papa ready. Smacks it back down. Can one of his teammates get it? Can we finally get our first goal here in game number 2? Very back and forth to get things started.
And defensively, can't really ask for much better. There's been some good opportunities, been some flashes in front of the goal for the Hammerheads, but the defense has remained absolute. Joe Papa had an incredible save at the beginning there that almost set up a goal. And as I say that, the ball is going to bounce harmfully in the middle of Hammerhead's half. And Kiptero is going to make them pay for a very kind of sloppy attempt to clear there. Couldn't quite get anything on it. And Kiptero is going to make this 1-0.
I personally think that Kiptero owes you a pack of double stuffed Oreos because Surfer is playing at a very high level right now.
Yeah, hopefully, if we do get a chance to speak with Kiptero or maybe Surfer, I'll make sure to bring that up.
Be sliding into the DMs, be like, listen, Kip, I told you to do this. I told you to draft this kid. You are welcome. Nice off the crossbar. No one else there to get it. Crimson, though. And I try keeping it alive here on the side of the Bleacher Boys. Now, off we go. Norm had a nice shot. Didn't get all of it. Joe might just have to take things on over. I'm looking for Joe on setup with Norm's finishes. Kiptero setting up Doc this time. And this Bleacher Boy squad really off to a massively strong start here in QRLS Season 11.
It starts with Kiptero just absolutely shutting down the shot, and then from there, it's all Bleacher Boys. They take it out of their own half. Kiptero with a couple of nice dribbles and then passing it. Beautiful back post to Doc, who's able to make it 2-0. In a game that was as defensively tight as this, that might be difficult to come back from if you were the Hammerheads, but hell, we have seen it before. We're hoping to see it again. Hammerheads have to solve the Kiptero problem, and they have failed to do so.
They have failed to do so for the current moment. Right now, Kiptero pretty much just showing everyone, every player from last season, all should have had me on a roster. Kiptero showing out early. Nice off the sidewall. Trying to get a goal. Didn't get it going. Everyone else is already down the end. Couldn't set anyway. Now Crimson trying to get something going for his team. His ball control is really going to be something to watch this season. Norm knocks it down. Joe Papa, unfortunately, just not there. It really feels like the comms just right now are not on point for the side of the Hammerheads. And could this be a little preseason victory hangover?
Maybe. I mean, Crimson is new, and Crimson will make a statement by getting a goal here. Crimson is new, so there might be just a little bit of miscommunications with the new player, but you know, he's still going to show up and make an impact, and this is what we've expected of him. Maybe a little bit late, but 1-goal lead is all you need. On the 0 second, you can always erase a 1-goal lead if the ball bounces right, but Hammerheads will be looking to make sure that we get even before that happens. Surfer going to take it cleanly away, but Crimson will meet him in the corner, going to go for a centering effort. Can't quite get it home, but nobody to really follow up on the side of Bleacher Boys, so Hammerheads take over once again, hitting it to the left corner. Norm fake to
Woo!
Crimson, but Doc has none of it. Gets a beautiful save.
Doc literally just saved the entire game for his team. That would have been 2-2. We'd be going to overtime. But now this is an opportunity. Once again, in the final seconds of the game, can the Hammerheads send us to OT? They cannot! And it is going to be the Bleacher Boys who are going to take the 3-game set 2-0 at the moment. We still have a third one to play, Drac. And Kiptero doing it all in this game. I'm sorry. 8 saves? What? That's
Yeah,
insane.
I feel like we highlight his offense a lot, and we highlight offense more so than defense, but hey, Kip Taro getting it done, doing the things that he needed to do in order for his team to win. When I say Kip Taro is a problem, I am not joking. It does not matter what side of the ball he's on. You have to beat Kip Taro if you want to beat the Bleacher Boys, and that is not an easy task. Remember, Hammerheads, they won the preseason tournament, and they are at threat of getting swept in the first match of the regular season by a
That is,
team that did not make a deep run at all.
yeah. I mean, this Kiptero led team right now just playing really, really well. I think what really shows is the not only the skill of Surupper, but how great Doc can be as well when he's just need to be called upon. And not only that, as we get started here in game number 3, I'm looking to Norm to really work with Joe Papa to get things started. But Crimson is going to be the X factor here in this game. And here we go. Joe Papa immediately with a score! With Crimson in the assist.
Joe Papa does this. He just goes for stuff. You know, I kind of joke about this sometimes where Rocket League players have a tendency to kind of back off and be a little bit skittish. Joe Papa has absolutely none of that in him. He will go for any ball. It does not matter who it is up against. It does not matter if it's the best player in the league. It doesn't matter if it's the worst player in the league. He's going to go up. He's going to ego chow you. And sometimes he's going to make stuff happen. And that's a good example of it.
I really think Crimson is going to be the offensive piece. Because we know how good Norm and Joe Papa are. They're just really good all-around players. But they've never struck me as these offensive juggernauts. They struck me as more of this balanced, get stuff done type players. I'm really going to be looking at Crimson to once again keep things going. Now, Surupper, good attempt there trying to run the sidewall to get that ball in position for his teammate. No one able to get there. Doc unable to get the save, but there they are, Kiptero yet again. It was Kiptero and Surupper both crossing the goal at the same time, but there we go. Crimson with a nice shot on goal. Watch this here. Crimson takes it off the right side wall. It's going to be knocked down in a beautiful spot, and it's an own goal by Doc.
Yeah, I mean, we highlighted how solid Surupper and Doc were playing, but you got to expect at least some mistakes at some point, especially in such a high-paced technical game. And that was just kind of wrong place, wrong time. Doc was probably trying to bounce that off of the roof or off of the crossbar, mind you, or the sidewall. Just got mixed up a little bit and put it in his own net. Yeah, it happens. We've seen it plenty of times, but I don't think it's going to take anything away from Doc's performance at the moment. I think he's been doing fantastic and, you know, a great showing against the preseason tournament winners. So, you know, it happens, but it'll move on quick.
Absolutely, no big issues here. Crimson once again shot, tries to clear it out of his own end. 3 minutes left on the clock here. This is game number 2, plenty of time left on the clock here. This is Rocket League, ladies and gentlemen. All it can sometimes take is less than 10 seconds for 2 or more goals to be scored. Norm, speaking of 10 or more seconds, from when I started talking about 3 minutes for that, took 11 seconds for Norm to get this. Watch this again here on the recap. Norm off the assist from Crimson, A beautiful side snipe shot from him. And that's what I'm talking about. Norm and Joe Papa, these amazing balanced players that can do it all.
I mean, yeah, just Kiptero, no slouch on defense, had 8 saves in the last game, and Joe Papa,
was saying?
Joe Papa is going to add one to it, but yeah, let me just highlight Norm before Joe Papa steals his credit. Just beautiful placement, both of those shots. Even uh, Norm puts it way out of reach of Kiptero, and Joe Papa kind of exploits a little bit of miscommunication in net, makes it 4-0. If you forgot, and I've repeated this, that these are the preseason tournament winners, if you forgot that the Hammerheads can be scary, just watch this match again. 4-0.
Exactly.
This is what the Hammerheads can do to teams, and even though they couldn't do it in games 1 or 2, don't slouch on them at all.
Factually correct. Well, this is the Hammerheads that we expected. And the Hammerheads, folks, that you have to look forward to this season. And in my opinion, again, Norm and Joe are going to be the balanced players of this team. I'm really looking to the rookie in Crimson to be that offensive piece. If Crimson can take a step up and he can end up being just an offensive juggernaut, the Hammerheads are going to not only be a force to be reckoned with this season, but they are going to be probably one of the teams to look to take down the reigning champion Sappers this season.
Yeah, I just want to say, Crimson did play the preseason tournament on Clarity United, and I felt like he was very strong. So I have absolutely no fears that Crimson will continue to be excellent, but it might just be new team jitters, might be a little bit of miscommunication. We saw a couple of double commits, but I still think, given time, Hammerheads will be back. And Norm's gonna try to make this 5, but Quintero's had enough of Hammerhead scoring for now. And we'll definitely get to see these two teams play some more. I'm excited to see if they're gonna match up again. I don't think they're scheduled to, but if they do meet up in the playoffs, this will be a good match.
Agreed. Look, you make a good point. New game, new team jitters, first game of the season. We are going to see teams in the first couple weeks of the season. Not only do they play a lot of scrims and games and whatnot together. Look, when you get in officials, it's very different than playing scrims. It's very different than playing hugs. It's more, just very simply, this is putting what you've worked on into an official game. And the shutout is going to be complete. Hammerheads look to get back to their winning ways, and they will do so. A 4-0 shutout for the side of the Hammerheads. But unfortunately for them, even though they get the shutout in Game 3, it is still the Bleacher boys who win this 3-game set, 2-1. But if you're a Hammerheads fan, that's everything you wanted to see from this team.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kiptero's got absolutely nothing to feel bad about that game.
No.
Unable to get a goal,
Kiptero
but
also playing sick, by the way.
that's also a good note there. Kiptero allegedly having COVID, allegedly, but I believe he had savior all 3 games, 8 save performance in game 2. Very strong performance, very strong defensive performance. I kind of thought that Kiptero would control the pace of play on offense, but he was kind of giving out a little bit of love, a little bit. Doc getting a couple of goals in, Srupper setting some stuff up. It wasn't all Kiptero on offense, but when it came to defense, oh man, that Kiptero was playing out of his mind.
Speaking of Kiptero, he's joining us for a post-game interview. We'll briefly talk to him. I do not want to take too much of his time. Again, knowing that he's sick, I want to make this short and sweet. Alex is now brought in Kiptero. Kip, first of all, hope you feel better, my friend, but GG's and congratulations on that 2-1 victory.
Yeah, it's definitely good to at least get the majority of games. Didn't quite finish out that third game, but they played well, had some good shots. But we'll take it. Take it. Not bad for winners of the preseason tournament. Definitely a solid team.
For sure. Drac, what questions you got for Kip Taro?
Okay, Kip, I know I was talking to you when we casted the Sappers in the first game about Sir Upper, a rookie that was performing very well. You pick him up. How do you like him?
Yeah, definitely had some interesting challenges this preseason and becoming a captain and finding some dudes, but got a great team here between Syrup and Doc. Both fun guys to play with, play well, play solid, and they're playing well. Glad to have them.
All right. Well, again, Kip, we know you're not feeling well, so we appreciate you taking a little bit of time here to pop on in and hang out with us. Any final thoughts that you would like to share before we get you on out of here?
Sorry. Uh, it's always lovely having Drakcast and WX fan. Lovely having you here. Um, I think we did well the first two games, keeping up some pressure, not letting them have midfield stuff, and then fourth game, it's just kind of a mess, a scramble, and they placed shots well, and we didn't quite get things on net as much as we could have. But definitely a solid team. Uh, definitely a team to watch for the season. I think everybody knows that they deserve their power rankings and their skill they got, the respect they got. So it'll be fun to see them. I don't believe we get to face them again. I think the next time we would face them is playoffs. So if we do end up seeing that, could be a good matchup. But yeah,
You got it. Well, Kip, we appreciate you joining us here for a post game interview. Drac, we're going to send it over to you. Final thoughts, and then I'll wrap things up and get us on out of here.
Yeah, crazy game, crazy performance. That game two, 8 saves, insane. I'm hope to see you in the playoffs. I hope to see you play the Hammerheads again because that was a wonderful matchup to watch, and I would like 5, if not 7 games of that. But thank you to everyone for putting up with our technical difficulties. Thank you, WX fan, for a very wonderful cast. I felt this was a fun series. It made even more fun with you. And I just want to say, you know, great first showing. Be sure to look out on the Discord for future matchups for week one, including our match of the week on Wednesday. Rangers taking on, oh, excuse me, Jesus Christ. Rangers taking on the Mustangs. Did I have that right? I believe I did.
It's going to be a good one.
That
Rangers
will be a
Mustangs, yes, this Wednesday. That is factually correct.
yes. Rangers versus Mustangs, our match of the week. Be sure to tune into that. And thank you once again to the wonderful QRLS community. And as always, keep it quick.
That's right, folks. For tuning in. We appreciate you for the Hammerheads, for the Bleacher Boys, for Kip Terra, the game interview, and of course for Alex, your amazing producer. And big shout out to Scripps as well. We will get Scripps back to do the production. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. For Drac, for Alex, for everyone else, I'm WX Fan 21, saying as always, keep it quick.